Hello friends, myself Dr. M.K. Gokru, Department Mathematics, Government College Ajmer. Today we are going to discuss some theorems related to cyclic subgroup. First of them is we have earlier defined the cyclic group, and today we are with the use of subgroups. We are going to discuss some theorems. First theorem is every subgroup of a group of a cyclic every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. A cyclic group is cyclic. Cyclic group. Yes. Here is the theorem that we are given a cyclic group. Say G is a cyclic group and its elements are A square, A cube, and so on, etc. N means order of G is N, and that is also the order of A is N. This is the cyclic group. Now, a subgroup, every subgroup, out of these n elements, we pick some elements, say this, and these elements, and we form a set A raised to the power whose lowest term is a square or a raised to, I must say, a raised to, in general way, I must say an is the lowest one, and so on, as. These are the elements of this set. This set contains, say, m elements. Now, m is the lowest one, order of G 10, order of A 10. Now, here we may see two possibilities. Either the subgroup is either identity or G itself. These are improper subgroups. Since this is already a cyclic group and this is cyclic group, so these two are cyclic subgroup automatically. Now, let us take a proper subgroup of it, and this proper subgroup whose lowest term is An and some term As lies between these. Now, our motto is to prove that this is a cyclic group, and if this is a cyclic group, means there must be a generator of this subgroup. There must be a generator. So, let An be the lowest term and As be any term in between, and since n is the lowest one, so S can be written as nq plus r. Q and r are integers such that S is equal to nq plus r. We can write it by division algorithm. So R, where R is R lies between 0 to n. R may be equal to 0 but less than n by division algorithm. So I may write S is equal to n cube plus R. Now I can write R is equal to S minus n cube. So a raised to the power R is can be written as a raised to the power S minus n cube. And this I can write a raised to the power S, a raised to the power n cube minus n, rather to say minus n. Now a minus S minus n cube I may write, or this I may write like this. Now AS is an element, AS belongs to H, AM, H is a subgroup, AM belongs to H, and H is a subgroup, therefore A raised to the power minus n, A raised to the power minus n belongs to H. H is a subgroup. Since H is a subgroup, A raised to the power minus n belongs to H, and also A raised to the power minus n raised to the power q by closure property in H belongs to H. Thus, from these two, I can say A raised to the power S, A raised to the power S into A raised to the power minus n cube belongs to H. A raised to the power S, A raised to the power minus n cube means A raised to the power S minus n cube belongs to H. Thus, from this result, I can say if this belongs to H, naturally AR belongs to H, where R is lying between 0 and n in such a way. And AR belongs to H and R is less than n, and we already start with this that AM is the lowest member of this subgroup. This subgroup AM is the lowest member. How can it be a member of this H where R is less than this? Any member having a power of A's power R is a member of H. It is possible only when R is equal to 0. It is possible R is equal to 0 means A raised to power 0 raised to power means identity belongs to H. Naturally, identity is there since H is a subgroup. So, R is equal to 0 is the result. So, from this, I can write S is equal to n cube. Now, any member of this subgroup, A raised to the power S can be written as A raised to the power n cube. And A raised to the power n cube means A raised to the power n all raised to the power q. So from here we notice that this element can be written as A raised to the power n raised to the power q. Hence, thus AS was we have taken AS as an arbitrary element. Therefore, any element of this can be expressed as the integral power of A raised to the power m. So, its generator is AM and hence H is a cyclic group. Thus, we may prove that every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. Every subgroup H is a subgroup of this, and we prove that if this is a cyclic group, then its subgroup is cyclic automatically. So this is first theorem, and with the help of this With the help of this, I may prove one more result. Every proper subgroup of infinite cyclic group, every proper subgroup of an infinite cyclic group is infinite. That is cyclic as well, but that is infinite. True. Every proper subgroup of an infinite cyclic group is infinite. Since it is a subgroup of a cyclic group, so let us take H be a subgroup of a cyclic group G, whose generator is A. G generator is A, and this is infinite cyclic group. G generator is A, and it's a infinite cyclic group. Now H is a subgroup of this, and as we proved earlier in our previous theorem that H is a subgroup generated by An, means its lowest term of An is a raised to power n is the lowest term of this cyclic group. Now our motto is to prove H is also infinite. H is also infinite. On the contrary, let us suppose H is finite. H is finite means order of H is say k. Order of H is k, then naturally order of any group is equal to order of its element, and from that way order of An is also k. We know that order of a group is equal to the order of its element, or order of its element a raised to power n is an element of H, therefore order of a raised to power n, order of An is equal to k, and this I can write a raised to power n k is equal to identity. A raised to power n k is identity, and it means order of this is finite. This is finite, and m is a fixed m is a number lowest one, and k is an integer, and this is finite means order of A is finite. Order of A is finite, and if order of A is finite, this is nothing but order of, this shows that if order of any element of a group is finite, then group is finite, so order of G is finite, which is contradiction to the given condition that this is an infinite group. Infinite cyclic group, G is an infinite cyclic group, so it will not be a finite group. Hence our supposition that order of H is finite is wrong. Hence H is infinite subgroup. This is the theorem. Now the third theorem, is important for our questions related to competitive exams. It is very important. How it is important, I will prove it by using an example, and later on I will prove it mathematically. If G generated by A means G is a cyclic group, A is its generator, of order n, and order of G is n. Order of G is n, and it is generated by A. And H is a subgroup. H is a subgroup. It generated by A raised to power S. A raised to power S is a generator of this subgroup. Means it is a cyclic group, as we proved earlier, that if there is a generator, it is cyclic group. Now, if G is a cyclic group generated by A and order of G is n, means order we are given order of G is n. This is given. And AH is a subgroup generated by AS, then H is a cyclic subgroup of G, then H is a cyclic subgroup. H is a cyclic subgroup, and the order of cyclic subgroup and its order is n by d. Order is n by d, where d is HCF of n and S. N and S. N and S. This is the theorem. Means we are given a group whose order is a cyclic group, whose generator is A, order is n. Now H is a cyclic group generated by any element. G is generated, means G is like this: A square, A raised to the power S, A raised to the power R, and so on. These are the elements of this group. N group, order of G is n, means A raised to the power n is equal to identity. A raised to the power n is equal to identity. This is G. Now H is a subgroup. H is a subgroup, means whose elements are AS, A2S, A3S, A4S. Out of these elements, we have AS. Then H is a cyclic subgroup. This is naturally, its generator is a single element like this. So it is a cyclic subgroup, as we earlier proved earlier. And the important factor is order of H is n by d. N is the order of group, D is HCF of n and S, means order of the group and the power of the element generator, power of the generator. Now let us take a simple example. With the help of example, I can predict this easily, very easily. Later on, I will prove it mathematically also. So let us take G as a group having A square, A raised to the power 14. This is equal to identity. Means order of G is 14. Order of G is 14. Now, construct a cyclic group with A4H, its generator. So, its elements are A4, A8, A12, A16 means A square, A16, 14, A14 is equal to identity, and the 2 power remains. So A square, A16, A20, A20 means A raised to power 6, A24, 24 means A raised to power 10, A28, A28 means A raised to the power 28 means 14 is equal to identity. This is the and A32 is nothing but A4, again repeats the element, the same element we will get on and on, we will get same elements. So identity is there, it is a subgroup generated by A4, its generator is A4, its generator is A. These are the group and subgroup. Now, the order of this subgroup is given by n by d. N by d. Here n is 14. N is 14. And what is d? D is HCF of 14 and 4. N and S. N and S. N is 14. S is 4. So HCF of 14 and 4 is 2. So there appears only 7 elements in this. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the 7 elements are there. So order of H is 7. This is the theorem. This is the result of the theorem. Now, mathematically, if we want to prove this one, so what we have to prove? Let us take order of H is S. Let order of H is N. We didn't know what is this, but this is an integer. Order of H is N, and H is generated by AS. H is generated by AS, so order of AS is also N. Order of AS is also N, means A raised to the power S and gives us the identity. A raised to the power Sn is equal to, gives us the identity, means A raised to the power Sn gives us the identity. And we know the order of A is order of G is N, and it is also the order of A, since A is the generator of G. Therefore, order of A is N, so N divides from here, N divides Sn. N divides Sn. This is one result. Got it. Means N divides Sn. Now, S and N. Now, what happens? N or S, we know D is HCF of N and S. D is HCF of N and S. Means, if we take N is equal to RD and SH QD. So automatically D is a vector. D is HCF of these two, and R and Q are co-prime. R and Q are co-prime. So D is HCF. Naturally, R and Q are co-prime. Then there will be no common factor except one. So D is HCF in this case. We are given D is HCF of N and S. So I took N as RD, S as QD. Now N as RD, I may put N as RD and S is QD, and D cancels out. It means R divides Qn. But we know R and Q are co-prime. R and Q are co-prime, so there will be no common factor. And this implies R divides N. This is second. R divides N. Now, if R divides N, then what happens? A raised to let us consider A raised to the power S. I am right here. Keep in mind R and Q are co-prime. R and Q are co-prime, so R divides N. And now A raised to the power S raised to the power R. Let us consider A raised to the power S raised to the power R. What happens? What it will be? A raised to the power S raised to the power R. And this I can write A raised to the power S. S is taken as QD. QD raised to the power R. And what it will be? A raised to the power QD and R. What it will be? And N is taken as RD. Yes. And N is RD. Yes. So I may write A raised to the power Q raised to the power RD. Or this I can write A raised to the power RD raised to the power Q, and this is nothing but A raised to the power N raised to the power Q. A raised to the power N, A raised to the power N, from here A raised to the power N is equal to identity, so it is E raised to the power Q and it is identity. So A raised to the power S raised to the power R gives us identity. What it means? Order of AS is nothing but, we suppose it is equal to order of AS. We suppose it. The order of H is N, so order of AS is its generator, so order of its element is also N. So its order is N, and raised to the power R gives us identity. So this means N divides R. This is the third result. A raised to the power S. A raised to the power S is its order is N. Its order is N, and raised to the power R gives us identity. Therefore, N divides R. From result 2 and 3. R divides N and N divides R means N is equal to R. Means N is equal to R, and what it will be? N is equal to R, and what is R? What is R? We are in terms of, we suppose N is equal to RT. So what is R? R is equal to N by D. So this is nothing but N by D. This is the result. N by D is the order of this cyclic subgroup. Order of this cyclic subgroup, which we proved here, which we proved in this way, and this mathematically we can prove this in this way, that order of a cyclic subgroup of a cyclic group can be find out with the help of this order of group and HCF of its generator and its order of its power of its generator and order of group at D is the HCF of these two, and in this way practically we can find in this way, or theoretically we can prove in this way. And if HCF is 1, then what will happen? Order of H will be equal to order of G since D is equal to 1. Means when D will be equal to 1? When D will be equal to 1? N and S are co-prime. If N and S are co-prime, then HCF of these two is 1. N and S are co-prime. Say order is 16 and A raised to the power 5. Order of G is 16. Order of H, generator of H is A raised to the power 5. Then, since these two are co-prime, 16 and 5 are co-prime. Therefore, the number of elements in H will be equal to 16. Will be equal to N, means 16. D is equal to 1. This is the way to find the order of A. How many elements exist in subgroup of a cyclic group? Next time we will take some more example, theorems, etc. Thank you for today.